Reardon. With the exception of funeral receptions, it's not often you can attract 250 people like you have here tonight in the span of only a few weeks. Unless, very much like a funeral reception, your event is at the Irish Cultural Center and free booze and food are advertised. Tonight we have a true draw. Our hometown favorite son, our friend Timothy Aloysius Reardon. We gather to celebrate and congratulate Tim on his 4th novel, which just so happens to be his first published novel. While many of you by now should have read the tattered copy of Shadow Lessons that's been making its way around the sunset, I understand that its progress came to a screeching halt when a group of Sacred Heart alumni got it in their hands and experienced problems with some of the multi-syllabic words. Tim only allowed me to make one Sacred Heart crack because San Francisco Examiner columnist and Sacred Heart alum Ken Garcia already has memorialized his brave review of Shadow Lessons on the back of the cover of the book, which you can purchase here tonight. But Timmy only brought 100, and they are now sold out. For those of you who haven't read it, Shadow Lessons opens with the following backdrop. The protagonist, Sean Cullinan, is a near 40-year-old Irish Catholic, creative writing and English teacher, revered by his students at a prominent San Francisco Jesuit high school in the Sunset District. Sean is an accomplished basketball coach playing Princeton-style offense, proud father of 3 beautiful daughters, resides in Ashbury Heights with his high school sweetheart wife, and frequents the drinking establishments of West Portland. Sean Cullinan's problem, which forms the linchpin of the novel, try as he might, he can't get published, despite repeated attempts over 20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I for one do not know how Tim Reardon could create such a purely fictional character with life experiences so divergent from Tim's own. He's a modern-day J.R.R. Tolkien, creating this remarkable and fanciful persona. Yet despite this gaping chasm between Sean Cullinan's life and Tim Reardon's, Tim somehow nails this character as if he had lived it. Actually, it's a little known fact that Tim devised the basic plotline of Shadow Lessons over 20 years ago while walking the hallowed halls of Notre Dame University, Tim Jr. and Tim Sr.'s alma mater. Following the advice of Tim's own mentor and high school English teacher, Jim Decker, Tim learned that he had to walk in the shoes of his protagonist in order to truly write the character of Sean Cullinan. So according to plan, Timmy took a teaching job at SI, married his high school sweetheart, the love of his life, Gina, and in a very calculated fashion, proceeded to have 3 beautiful daughters, Kate, Claire, and Lizzie. How he succeeded in Sean Cullinan's trifecta of 3 girls, I do not know. But in Tim's greatest sacrifice for his art, he set out to and did write 3 novels with a premeditated intent that they'd be summarily rejected by all reputable publishers. And Tim, I credit you here fully. I read these 3 novels, which were a terrible, terrible waste of paper. Truly awful. And again, my friend, you absolutely nailed the Sean Cullinan character. But in 2001, Timmy staggered once in following the path of Sean Cullinan. He left SI to join the cadet class of the San Francisco Police Department. This was, of course, in order to research a future true crime novel. But when Tim's fellow cadets, half of which were his former students, kept raising their hands to talk to him or to use the academy's bathroom, Tim knew that he had to answer the siren call of Shadow Lessons and return to SI to complete his 20-year opus. And return he did but not before a several-month stint selling hot dogs at Stanley Steamer's Hot Dog Club in Union Square. This endeavor quite obviously formed part of Tim's journalistic muckraking period, in which he intended to blow the roof right off the grimy underbelly of the single-serving pork industry. And to this day, Timmy, we eagerly await that gritty or greasy expose of the evils of San Francisco's hot dog peddlers. We're looking forward to it. Tim has now completed his 2-decade-long odyssey in Sean Cullinan's shoes, with the publication of Shadow Lessons. Thankfully, despite the completion of this mission, I understand that Tim intends to remain married to Gina and to support his children. So we can be thankful him for that. We all know many doctors, lawyers, firefighters, and cops, the latter especially here in the Sunset. But most of us can count on one hand, or even less, the number of published authors we call our friends. This is an outstanding, truly singular achievement, and tonight we give Tim the credit that is due. Hopefully many of you have followed Tim's blog, Reardon Ramblings, wherein in the past months Tim has chronicled the laborious process of finalizing, editing, and publishing Shadow Lessons. You may have read Tim's commentary that certain editorial comments exchanged between him and his mentor, Jim Decker, mistakenly remained in the final version available through Amazon and was for purchase here tonight. One of these editorial bloops and blunders concerns our own John Ring, SI's illustrious alumni director, and Timmy's self-proclaimed manager. Although curiously for a manager, John Ring has not read a single page of any of Tim's collected works, published or not. In any event, Tim names a character in Shadow Lessons after John Ring, and at page 129 of Shadow Lessons, Tim mistakenly left in the following editorial exchange with Jim Decker. Deck, unlike other characters, I didn't change John Ring's name to protect the innocent. There is not a disparaging comment about Ring that hasn't already been aired in public, so there's no threat of libel or defamation. What amazes me is that SI welcomed this guy back as alumni director after he barely got out here 24 years ago. We would have been better off with a trained monkey. It's an amazing editorial gap, but it makes Shadow Lessons all the more enjoyable. Without further ado, let's hear from our author, and then we'll have some readings from the novel.